Hi and welcome to Healthy Life Hacks. I'm Jennifer Jeffries, the present-day wise woman. I'm a realistic naturopath coming to you from the surfing beaches of Australia. This show is for those of you who are wanting to really rock your life and rock your health and just live from a place of prevention, not waiting to get sick and tired and sucky. That's it. So let's get into today's episode. Hi and welcome to episode 7. In this episode, I'm going to talk about the three essentials that are needed to reboot tired adrenal glands. Yes, 3. In Chinese medicine, and I spoke about in an earlier episode about how our adrenal glands are the core of our being. So in Chinese medicine, we say that they're recharged with good food, good rest, and good play. So that's what I want to talk about in today's episode. First off, I am a naturopath, so I'm going to give you a few of the real reality checks. This is it. When it comes to foods that are really going to help, just take the pressure off and stop taxing your adrenal glands the way they may have been in the past. Because what's normal is when people are, burning the candle at both ends, they might go to a little bit of alcohol or a little bit of caffeine just to get them through. I know I did. That's what am I saying? It was me. I did it. When I burned out in my 20s, I was living on caffeine and alcohol to get through my days, to manage my stress and just live, which was just not cool. Like really just not cool. Got my life together. And one of the very first things I did was I eliminated alcohol. I actually eliminated alcohol for 26 years. That's another story for another podcast. But I also really looked at caffeine. So caffeine in balance is good for us, but when our caffeine gets out of balance, it taxes our adrenal glands, and we want to be able to be doing everything to get our adrenal glands really happy. The kind of foods that we want, and there's lots to foods, but I really want to talk about just a few nutrients that are really going to help your adrenal glands, okay? So the first one is, you don't have to eliminate, but don't go having crappy instant coffee. If you're going to have a coffee, have a real coffee, a good one, and not like a big crappy milky latte and stuff. So that's the first thing. And there's lots of food, and I'm going to talk all about the food square in, I think it's 2 episodes time, but today I want to just talk about these bullet points. We want to get more vitamin C, vitamin B3, vitamin B5, vitamin B6 rich foods into our diet. We also want more magnesium rich foods. And when it comes to proteins, please do the grass-fed proteins, because then you're getting all of the amino acids, particularly the ones that turn our happies on, the serotonin and dopamine. So it's super duper duper important to do that. But let's jump in. One of my favorite vitamins is vitamin B3, which is also known as niacin. So niacin is just the most amazing nutrient. I consciously do niacin cleanses. I'll talk about that in another episode. Niacin has been a big nutrient that I've tapped into, well, for the last 30 odd years. And particularly I use it so much for helping to prevent DVTs, deep vein thrombosis, and things like that when I fly. But today I want to just talk about adrenals and some of the foods. No, don't go out and run out and buy niacin. That's not what I'm talking about. I want you to get things from these kind of things from foods. So I'll give you a few that are really loaded, are really good. It's yucky because I'm not a fan of it, but liver is high in niacin. And niacin comes in 2 forms in nature. It comes in niacinamide and nicotinic acid. The nicotinic acid, if you do go taking a supplement, it's going to really, it basically opens up your blood vessels and throws the blood through really fast. And so what it does is you'll get what's called a niacin flush. If people aren't used to having that, that's why I say don't do it with a supplement. Let's just do it with, because I am going to talk about using that in a future episode. But right now, let's just talk about doing it with some foods. So liver, not a big fan of that, because if you've got an animal that's had, been on crappy grains and all those kind of things, it's had a crappy diet itself, well, you're going to take on all that shit too. It's not cool. But tuna, salmon, if you are, fish eaters, they're good. Peanuts, 2 tablespoons of peanuts has 25% of your recommended daily allowance. 25%, it's pretty easy. A cup of brown rice, 26%, easy. 1 slice of brown bread. So for my friends in North America, you call it wheat bread. We call it brown or wholemeal, 7%. Green peas, 1 cup of green peas. Green peas are actually really good food. 1 cup of green peas, 20%. And then avocado. Avocados are just so good for us. They are calorie dense and it's good calories, so you've still got to balance it out. But avocado is 22% of your daily niacin, which is vitamin B3 requirements. Now, I just want to put this too. If you're going to cook any nutrients, if you're going to cook your peas or cook your brown rice and that, please always use a lid, because water soluble things like vitamin B3, B5, B6 that I'm talking about today are all water soluble nutrients, and they evaporate in the steam. So if you're going to cook any vegetables, really, I'll cook everything with the lid on so that you retain those nutrients. If you're going to go and stir fry and things and there's no lid on it, you're going to lose so many of those water soluble nutrients because they literally they evaporate off in the steam. Okay, so some of my favorite vitamin B5 foods. So vitamin B5, shiitake mushrooms. 100 grams of shiitake mushrooms will give you 70 to 72% of your recommended daily allowance of vitamin B5, which is really useful for your adrenal glands. Okay, so 72%. But again, don't go sauteing them in butter and stuff and having no lid on, and then you go and lose the goodness. Salmon, 35% per 100 grams. Avocado, 28% per 100 grams. Sunflower seeds, 141%. 141% of your vitamin B5. Sunflower seeds, guys, they're a really, really, really good snack. 100 grams will give you 141%. Adding them to your salads, it's such an easy food to integrate into day-to-day life. And B5 absolutely supports your adrenal glands. And grass-fed protein, like I said. So grass-fed protein, depending what it is going to be between 10 and 30% of the needed vitamin B5. So then let's go to vitamin B6. So again, per 100 grams, salmon, 56%. 56%. Tofu, I'm vegetarian, 29%. 29%. If you're going to eat tofu in your diet, please, non-GMO. Really track down a good source and make sure you're getting non-GMO. Really important. Sweet potatoes, 14% per 100 grams. 14%. Sweet potatoes is, I haven't eaten a white potato for 100 years because sweet potato was so much more useful to our nutrition. Bananas, 22%. 22% of our vitamin B6. Avocado, 15%. Now that's a food that's hit all of these. Yes, avocados are good for your adrenal glands. And then pistachios, for all you nut lovers, pistachios, 100%. 100% of your vitamin B6. But it's not the roasted salted kind, guys. It's just not the roasted salted kind. It's the raw pistachios, 100%. So the same, when you go and heat any kind of plant matter, you lose in the steam, you lose the water soluble nutrients. So if you're going to have the raw salted ones, which are just so yummy, they will not have 100% of your recommended daily allowance of vitamin B6. They just won't, but they will still taste good. Let's talk about a few of my magnesium-rich foods. I spoke in an earlier episode about blackstrap molasses. Organic blackstrap molasses is a nice source of magnesium. Dark chocolate, 100 grams of dark chocolate will give you 56% of your recommended daily allowance of magnesium. Raw dark chocolate, guys. Not sweetened, crappy dark chocolate, but raw dark chocolate. Avocado, 29%. It makes every one of those categories, guys. It really does. Cashews and almonds, 64%. You know, a handful of nuts in the afternoon for a snack is a great way to be getting some magnesium. A cup of spinach. I love the deep, dark green vegetables. 87% magnesium per 100 gram. It will give you 87% of your recommended daily needs of magnesium. A cup of spinach a day. It's so easy. Pumpkin seeds, again, not the roasted salty kind, but pumpkin seeds, 131% of your recommended daily allowance of magnesium. Bananas, people go, I'm going to eat a banana because it's got lots of magnesium. No, it hasn't, guys. 6%. 6% per 100 grams. It has got magnesium, it's got potassium, lots of good nutrients. But seriously, get into some pumpkin seeds. Is going to be way more useful for you than a banana. that's the main kind of food groups you really want to focus on for adrenal glands. Okay, so that's the good food. Now, good rest, I'm not going to re-go over what I did in episode 1. I talked all about sleep and your adrenal glands in episode 1 of this podcast. So go back and have a listen to that. It's all there. So it's good food, good rest, and then good play. Now, this is the big one. You know, there's a really cool saying that says the opposite of play is not work. The opposite of play is depression. And Dr. Stuart Brown was the guy who said that. Like, it's not cool. And I've noted, I know myself too, when we're in adrenal survival mode, we are so damn boring and serious. And we miss that vital life thing that's needed. And when people are off track, the normal thinking is, oh, I'm going to eat clean and eat less, and I'm going to exercise, and I'll take some rest time. But the thing they forget to do is play. Our adrenal glands need us to lighten up. People are so boring nowadays. It's not cool. If you are into aromatherapy, you might want to tap into my Play More essential oil blend. So it's a combination of ginger, mei chang, grapefruit, and sweet orange. It is sweet, it is spicy, it's emotionally up. Mei chang is the first essential oil that I prescribe in clinic to keep the heart relaxed and up at the same time. It's got that lemon sherbet kind of aroma. That is such a fun essential oil blend. So you can I'll put the link in the show notes to that if you want to go and check it out. But it's about maybe 15, 18 years ago now, I did some research in the corporate world in Australia. It was actually in Sydney, and all based around from my 7 Steps to Sanity book. And in it, I wanted to see where people were going off track. And when it came to play, I asked a couple of questions, and basically they were just so off track. It was scary. It really was. It was just scary. They were so off track. And the reason I asked is that it's 1% of your day, 1% of your day is 15 minutes. And I remember I was speaking to this big company, and I was talking to the CEO at the end of the day, and he was out the front of the room. He said, yeah, this is a great presentation, Jen. Yep, excellent. And this guy was so stretched, like really, he's living way in survival mode. And he was only a young guy. He was in his late 40s, like seriously young guy. And it was like, mate, really? And I said, so you good? He's going, yeah, I'm really good. Yeah. And you could just tell he wasn't. So with him, he really wanted to be in balance. He knew he was doing the good food and he was exercising and getting enough sleep at night, but he was so damn boring and in survival mode. He was just missing out on what life was about. He said, I really want to do this. So he agreed that he would schedule in once a week. He'd schedule himself in an hour to just go and do something and be spontaneous. Just play, whatever it was at that time. His PA knew that he was not allowed to cancel that appointment. That's it. You've just got to make this stuff a priority. When he did it, it was a BlackBerry, because it was back in those days. We plugged an appointment into his BlackBerry that on Thursdays at 3 o'clock, it went ding. And there was a reminder there that said, be spontaneous. You know, if you have to do planned spontaneity to get your life in balance, I promise it's worth it. Because the normal thing that we do is when we're under the pump, if you've got a massage scheduled or whatever, a bit of me time scheduled, we go and get rid of that and do the extra bit of work. It's not good. You know how much more productive you are when you actually take the time to look after yourself. You want to schedule these things in and make them not negotiables. So good play is important. So 15 minutes a day is your 1%. Surely you could spend 1% on you. So there's actually 4 main areas where you want to spend 15 minutes a day if you can. All right. Now they don't have to be in a block. You fit them in. So 15 minutes a day to relax and meditate, to just be still. Now, meditating doesn't have to be sitting on the top of a mountaintop in the full lotus position, chanting Om. It doesn't have to be that. Meditating means to do one thing at once. I love practicing the Buddhist meditations, and that's the walking meditations. That's where you have a mantra or a positive statement that you're chanting over to yourself. And I'll just go for a walk. If I need a brain fart through the day, I'll go for a walk, not with my phone, not with music in my ears, just with me and nature. And I'm just present to it. and I'll be chanting something positive to myself. And it's not a race off kind of walk. It's a walking meditation. Cool. That's one to think about. 15 minutes a day to educate ourselves. But this is actually a non-work stuff, guys. Our brain needs to play too. It's on action all the time and it needs a break. So this is where, like for me, I love surfing. And so I'll get out and I'll watch surfing YouTubes, or I'll read books on that kind of stuff. Do whatever you love, but just let your brain get a little bit of playtime as well. Cool. We also need 15 minutes a day to play with ourselves. Now, that can be whatever you want it to be. But the big thing is, if you have got kids or got cats or dogs or something, you don't even get to pee in peace. It's just a reality. Why? Because as soon as you close that door, they're there. I know, I've got cats. I close the door and they're there with me, kind of going, mum, 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 mum. I'm going, no, you're not sitting on my lap while I'm peeing. I don't know if you have that problem with your cats, but I sure do. And I know, with mums and dads with kids, you may not get 15 minutes as a block, but you're looking for 1 minutes, little 1 minute intervals, if that's what it has to be at first, to get it going. So one of my strategies is I like to end the day with a bath, not a shower. And one, the cats can't get into the bath. That's a win. But I know the value of just taking that time to relax before I jump in bed versus have been in action mode all night. Like in the sleep episode, I talked about kind of preparing, coming from a place of prevention so that you make sure you do good sleep. So that's one for me. So that's my playtime for me is I just get, I love to, it's like a ritual now. I love to just have 15 minutes or half an hour in the bath just to switch off. That might be one that works for you. Give it a try. But then we also need 15 minutes to play with someone that we care about. Now, if you haven't done this for a while, think about it. If you went home tonight and looked your partner in the eye and went, "Hi, honey, I just want to have a chat." They're going to go, "What's wrong? What's wrong? Like the world's ending? What, you okay? What's wrong?" Because it's so weird that we don't take the time to really connect with people and look them in the eye. And yet, the thing that gets our heart is when we feel connected with people. And so it's a really important thing to do. Imagine 15 minutes a day. If you're talking to your workmates, or if you're talking to, your kids or your partner, just look them in the eye. It's not a staring competition, and it might feel uncomfortable at first, but people have lost the ability to be connected. So look them in the eye, just be present with them and chat to them that way. Now, if you haven't done this for a while, don't go home tonight and say, "Oh, I was listening to this podcast and Jen said," and you start looking at your watch and you set the timer, or you set the timer on your phone and say, "Ready, I'm going to do this 15 minutes. We're going to look and talk." Like, don't do that. You will be really, really, really weird. And that's not cool. It's not what it's about. Think about it. A conscious thing. Those little things literally give your adrenal glands a chance just to go, it's big. It's big. You know how you feel when you can tell someone is really listening to you. And you know how you feel if you know they're off with the bloody fairies. Like, it's not cool. Be present with people, guys. That stuff all just gives your adrenal glands a chance to breathe. So the 3 essentials to really look after your adrenal glands are good food, good rest, and good play. So I have 3 healthy life hacks with this episode. The first one is to bring more vitamin B3, B5, B6, and magnesium-rich foods into your diet. And guys, you can go to the show notes to have a look at the list. You didn't have to take notes madly. We're giving you the show notes to make it easy. I want you, number 2, healthy life hack number 2 is I want you to go back and listen to episode 1 and make your sleep a priority. Give your adrenal glands that chance to recharge. Now, if you've already listened to episode 1, I don't care. Go back. It's 15 minutes. Listen to it again, because I'll bet there's already something that you've forgotten to integrate that you thought, yeah, I'm going to do that. Cool. So that's healthy life hack number 2. Now, healthy life hack number 3 is to stop being so boring and serious. Whether you're going to use some essential oils, whatever it is, what is going to be your 1% that you will focus on today? I would love to know what your 1% is. Put it in the comments on my website or wherever you're reading to this. I would really love to know what your 1% is that you're going to start focusing on. I hope that's of help to you. There is so much more to adrenal glands, but they are the 3 core basic areas that you want to really focus on to have them to be able to be strong, fit, and healthy. Good food, good rest, and good play. So in the next episode, I'm really excited. I'm going to be talking about the power of saying yes and traveling. I have traveled around the world as a professional speaker and a tourist for the last 20 years full time. And I really look forward to bringing that episode to you too. I want to thank you for being here today. If you enjoyed this episode, feel free to share it with your friends and scroll down to the comment section, guys. It's below the description of the video, because click into the line that says add a public comment, add your comment, click the comment box, and every month I draw one lucky person who leaves a comment down below to have a free 1-hour consultation with me. Also, be sure to subscribe to the show and like it so that you're always catching that next episode. If you'd like to receive a free copy of my Feed Your Body ebook, simply click the link in the comments below, join my newsletter, and you will get the free ebook sent to you nice and easy. So I welcome your emails. You can write to me at podcast@healthylifehacks.com.au. Until next time, guys, remember that when it comes to life, live it, love it, and get on with it.